Hey everyone and welcome to a new Jurassic World Evolution 2 video. Today we are going to talk about 5 things that I think need to be addressed very soon in this game. Little disclaimer, we are talking about 5 things that I think Frontier can address very quickly. So we're not going to talk about some dreams or some unrealistic ideas I have. We are talking about 5 more or less quality of life things that I think are desperately needed in this game, and I don't want to take too much of your time, so let's jump right into it. Number 1 is potentially a strange one, but I think it's very much important, and that is menu continuity. Now, the UI of Jurassic World Evolution is pretty much known. It is the same as it was in Jurassic World Evolution 1, but there are a couple of things that I think are really a killer to the productivity of this game. So, for example, it's pretty simple. We go to decorations, right? And I want to place down, let's say, the modern light, okay? So I'm going to put a couple of these down, fine. And now I want to place something else. So I right click, as you think, to kind of cancel this activity. And what happens is the menu reappears, but it doesn't keep open. I would have wished that this menu keeps open. I constantly need to click back into the menu. It's like one click too much, and it gets even more complicated when we have something like the buildings, for example, operations. I want to place down 2 staff centers, for example, and normally by holding down shift I get the chance to build another one, but this game just doesn't have it. Also because you can't put another one down, but it would actually also be the same with buildings that you can place down twice, you know? You always have to click it in the menu again. Not only that this is pretty much annoying, it also leads to the fact that you can't build as effective and as quick as possible. Yes, you can pause the game and do this, but I think that's really something unnecessary and needs to be addressed rather quickly. And there are a couple of these things I figure out, like for example in the environmental tab when you go into the things and I want to just quickly change between them, you don't stay where you were. So for example, I have got this rock over here, I go back into this and I go back to rocks, then you have this, it jumps back. So a couple of these little things need to be addressed in my opinion to make the overall flow a lot more enjoyable. Now, let's go on to the next one. Well, and this is micromanagement in Sandbox. I think this is a pretty obvious one. We still need to hatch every single dinosaur and wait for the dinosaurs to be bred in here. We also need to have staff management, we need to have scientists, we have to train them, and so on and so forth. It really is annoying and takes so much time. So what you will actually end up doing is you always build the same kind of starting facilities in your sandbox and then you save it as an empty park for every next play. So that is really not how you should do it, because that is super annoying, not needed, and just a kind of a little bit of an unnecessary time problem. Now, I really hope that this is something they will address rather soon in the future, and this will make our life so much easier. Alright, next up is hitboxes. Hitboxes for me is a big issue because I think it is still way beyond what it could be. Let's quickly go into some of the decoration pieces. Now, as you see, we have a couple of planters. You can see how much it is obstructed by a couple of things. You can, however, place it on the pathway, but you can't really put it near any weird object. As you can see, I don't really see a reason why you wouldn't be able to put it here. Like, there is no real reason why. Same goes for over here. I really would love to see that some items get a little bit less crazy when it comes to the hitbox. The same goes for rocks. I don't really get why we can't put rocks together, since they anyways have a hitbox with the dinosaurs, and also the flying reptiles can't sit on them. I don't really see the necessity that these do have a hitbox to not merge into each other. Like, as you can see, I really don't get it why there is this hitbox around this stone. Like, I just don't get it, and I really hope that they will address it. I can't see a reason for consoles, I can't see a reason for PC, so why would it be in? I really hope that they are going to address that, and just in general, that would be amazing. Okay, so next up is building limitations in Sandbox. We are in a kind of empty park. The only thing is Ian Malcolm lying in front of us. There are a couple of things I really don't understand. I really hope they address. Now, operations are something that can be very useful when it comes to your sandbox builds, because your imagination can make buildings differ in their use case. So for example, we've got the science center. It's pretty much a modern as concrete building that could be used for facilities, for a backstage area, whatnot. The problem though is we are only allowed to build one. So as soon as I place this down, you can see that this one now is blocked. The same is also the other science center. I put the JP one down, but the JW version is also blocked now. I don't get it. Like, you can't even research in Sandbox. It doesn't even matter if the building is functional or not. Why is it blocked? There is no reason. I just want to put it down. And yes, I know there technically would be a way around this, but I'm talking about this base game without any modification from external sources. So I really don't get this. And the same applies, by the way, for other things like the control center. Like, these buildings are so cool and you could build so many nice areas with it. But as soon as you place them, they are all blocked away. Like, legit, you don't have them anymore. You have to carefully choose where you want to put them down, rather than just having the option to build it as often as you want. And again, I just don't see the reason why it would be blocked. Like, again, you can't even click on research because it is not available in sandbox mode. This is not available in the current level, you know, there's just no. And the same applies obviously for all the other things like the response facilities. They all have a limit from the actual game to how many you can place down. And for me personally, that is just ridiculous. So I just want to be able, even though it makes no sense, I just want to be able to place down as many of those things, yeah, on a map as I want, because it's sandbox, okay? I don't know, let me unlock this by one special level or whatever, but this is something I really don't get. The sandbox in Jurassic World Evolution 1 and now in 2, it's kind of just a semi-sandbox if you want. It's basically the base game without the money constraints, and that is something I really don't get. That's not the idea about sandbox, and I think there's also no restraint that goes down to Universal or the fact that we have also console games, because reasons, you know, just give us the ability to place these things down, as many as we want. Okay, but there's one more point I want to talk about. Let's do it. All right, so the next point is customizability of lagoons and essentially also aviaries, even though I want to focus this more on the lagoons since the aviaries have a certain level of customizability. But oh boy, this is one of the most controversial things of this game. Yes, the integration of those is amazing. We have lagoons now with a lot of marine reptiles, which is amazing. And I think we all can't be more thankful for the fact that we finally have it. But then again, there is seriously 0 to none customizability in these lagoons. I'm even lost for words here. I know Evolution Square has a good video on what you can do with the lagoons. There are a couple of cool tricks in there, but with all due respect, there are all very much just in our minds, in the imagination, and there are very crazy workarounds for the fact that there is legit no real customizability other than putting some feeders down. And I think there are some ways of at least doing it, and I will leave the capture mode here to show you some things. Why can't we just have at least a brush for underwater? I mean, we essentially have the intro of Frontier, of the Frontier logo, of the Mosasaurus swimming through some, I think it's like some underwater weed or something, you know. Why can't we just have an underwater brush over here? Like, it doesn't even need to be hitbox, you know. It can actually be just a customizability thing where you can put down some underwater plants. Again, you don't need to change the hitboxes because these creatures would swim through it. There's no hitbox involved, so it is just a beautification, not more than that. Also, on the other hand, why can't we just have some boulders, some rocks, some underwater rocks that we can put down? Yes, I know there would be some hitboxes involved, but potentially it would be enough to get like 2 or 3 or maybe 4 that share the same hitbox, so it's not the same, and have a bigger hitbox because these lagoons are massive anyways. So these kind of things would really turn out to be a game changer, and the quality of life impact would be insane, because you would get so much more versatility. And because at the end of the day, if we go into the stand over here and we have a little looky look in the stand, you can already see that you don't see anything. Okay, so it's basically always the same view, and you have to hope that one of the creatures is swimming past. There's no point of interest to look at. There is no difference. It doesn't even matter where you put the lagoon, because the viewing always will be exactly the same. So there's not even anything involved that could be for the matter of making this look a bit more amazing than it does from the outside, you know. As you can see from this build, there are ways of making these lagoons appear a lot more interesting from the outside, but that's about it. Like there's no real trigger to build different types of lagoons other than making these things straight, as you can see over here. And maybe one last word regarding the aviaries, because I said I want to keep that short. Aviaries have a good way of building, and you know, there are a couple of things that I like about them. I would just love to see if we can have like a tunnel in there, like Jurassic Park 3 tunnel that goes in, like a cage tunnel that you can at least put a path through. And I don't even want to build the path freely. It would be enough to have like 2 or 3 options where you can say, okay, the path goes straight through. Then you have one that goes into the middle, and there's like kind of a circular little viewing platform you can back, and you know, kind of as modules. Same, by the way, could be applied to the lagoons as well. A second solution could be modules, you know, that each of these roundish modules can have different types of modules, just as the facilities have. Like imagine you've got that, and then you can change the watercolor, you can change a couple of other colors, and you can obviously also change the looks of it by these toggles over here. That would be already enough to at least get a little bit of change in these different lagoons. But yeah, that's about it, guys. And to round this video off, I would say let's put the camera here. Let's disable the HUD and have another little disclaimer. Now, these 5 ideas, or these 5 things that I think need to be addressed rather soon, again, are focused on the base game, are focused on non-modificated things, and focused on quality of life that could be rather simple or quickly implemented. No ideas, crazy fancy things involved. I would have a lot of that, but this is for another video. I really want to make it pretty clear that I think the game is really good. It has a huge step up from the previous game. I have a lot of fun playing the game, but there is a lot of room for improvement. It's very far away from being perfect. The good thing is, I think there are some minor changes that have a huge impact to the game if they would be done with the next update. And I'm hoping that this video is receiving or is actually finding Frontier well. They know that I really love the game and that I've been playing this with a good amount of fun. But again, the more you play it, the more obvious it gets that these things need to be addressed. And now it's up to you guys. Put in the comments down below if you have some points, and please stick to the quality of life aspect of things. I know we all want to have crazy things. We all want to have, I don't know, submarines that can be driven through the lagoon, or we want to have the canoes and stuff from Camp Creator Issues, you know, all these kind of things. I know, but it's not happening, okay? So let's stick to the things that would be realistic and that would make the game for you better to be enjoyable, more enjoyable for you in a quick update. So that would be really helpful. So put them all down below. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. The reception of my videos is insane at the moment. This park, this speed build from this park that you're looking at right now has hit the 60,000 mark already in not even 2 weeks. It is ridiculous. So thank you guys so much for your ongoing support. I really hope you like the content. And if you do like the content and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. That helped me a lot. And we're moving strongly forward to my secret goal, which is not that secret anymore. So thank you guys so much. Stay safe, everyone, in these weird times. And again, make sure to comment down below what you think is a brilliant quality of life update that you would need in the next update. Thanks so much. And as always, have a good time and goodbye.